Again, where the CEO of Pfizer at the World Economic Forum at Davos was confronted by a journalist and he was completely evasive in his responses.
Can I ask you, when did you know that the vaccines didn't stop transmission? How long did you know that without saying it publicly?
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. Answer that question. I mean, we now know that the vaccines didn't stop transmission, but why did you keep it secret? You said it was 100% effective, then 90%, then 80%, then 70%. But we now know that the vaccines do not stop transmission. Why did you keep that secret?
Have a nice day.
I won't have a nice day until I know the answer. Why did you keep it a secret that your vaccine did not stop transmission?
Is it time to apologise to the world, sir? To give refunds back to the countries that poured all their money into your vaccine that doesn't work, your ineffective vaccine?
Yeah, you have a little bit around.
Are you not ashamed of what you've done in the last couple of years?
Do you have any apologies to the public, sir?
Are you proud of it? You've made millions on the backs of people's entire livelihoods. How does that feel to walk the streets as a millionaire on the backs of the regular person at home in Australia, in England, in Canada?
What do you think about on your yacht, sir? What do you think about on your private jet? Are you worried about product liability? Are you worried about myocarditis?
What about the sudden deaths?
What do you have to say about young men dropping dead of heart attacks every day? Why won't you answer these basic questions? No apologies, sir.
Do you think you should be charged criminally for some of the criminal behaviour you've obviously been a part of?
How much money have you personally made off the vaccine?
How many boosters do you think it'll take for you to be happy enough with your earnings? Nothing?
Who did you meet with here in secret? Will you disclose who you met with? Who did you pay commissions to? In the past, Pfizer has paid $2.3 billion.
So we also, of course, saw what Rajiv Chandrasekhar, the minister from the NDA, had to say about India's decision not to go ahead with the Pfizer vaccine. Here's the national spokesperson of the BJP, Mr. Shehzad Poonawalla, on this.
Today we've seen the video of the Pfizer CEO in Davos being exposed over the ineffectiveness of the Pfizer vaccines and being asked tough questions. But it reminds us of the time when political parties in India, particularly the Congress party, its leader Rahul Gandhi, likes of Jairam Ramesh and even likes of Arvind Kejriwal were batting for foreign-made vaccines. We remember the tweet of Arvind Kejriwal who said, and he quoted, that the Pfizer vaccines should be made available as soon as possible for the children. The Congress party too was batting for all kinds of relaxations to be given to the Pfizer vaccine. Today, shouldn't this entire ecosystem, which was openly batting for this foreign-made vaccines and degrading the Indian-made vaccines, apologize and tell us what deal they had? Or what was the kind of motivation they had?
Now, Mr. Mansukh Mandavia, the Union Health Minister, had in fact cited several reasons as to why Pfizer's vaccine had been rejected by Indian authorities. Firstly, that Pfizer had placed a condition before the Indian government for vaccine access. That Pfizer had asked India to sign an indemnity clause that would protect Pfizer in the event of anything going wrong with the administration of the vaccine. In case of any side effect or if somebody died, Pfizer had claimed that it would not be held responsible. It also meant that the company could not be prosecuted under the provisions of Indian law, and that it did not seem wise for the Indian government to accept their demands in the light of all these conditions being imposed on the part of Pfizer. So let me once again go back to my colleague Pranesh Kumar Roy. India had some very cogent reasons as to why it had to strike down Pfizer's application for emergency authorization, Pranesh, for the administration of a vaccine in India. And throughout, right from November 2020, when Rahul Gandhi had said on his Twitter handle that Pfizer has come out with a very promising vaccine and the logistics of how that vaccine ought to be distributed in India ought to be examined. And then you had the likes of Karti Chidambaram as well, basically asking the Indian government on several occasions as to why Pfizer had not been given the go-ahead.
Not just leaders of the Congress party, but the BJP is now singling out even Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, the Aam Aadmi Party, and is saying that there was an attempt by the ecosystem to endanger, risk public life, which is why you have this war of words. Let's see how the opposition responds to this.
Right, so we'll of course play that sequence out once again. A very pertinent question, Pranesh. Serious questions now being asked on the part of the opposition over its endorsement of Pfizer and calling upon Indian authorities to basically expedite the process of authorization so that the vaccine could be administered here in India. India had some very sound reasons as to why it did not go ahead. In fact, the SEC had once in fact rejected Pfizer's application. Pfizer had to withdraw its application as well in the year 2021 because we in India had basically pressed on Pfizer to conduct more tests to in fact test the effectiveness of the vaccine in India. India finally decided not to go ahead because of the fact that Pfizer was insisting upon an indemnity clause to be